Welcome to Sweatpants to Suits, the podcast where we dive into the journeys of career professionals, uncovering the secrets to transforming from sweatpants mode to suits success. Join us as we explore personal stories, insights, and strategies for cultivating a growth mindset and achieving your vision of success. I'm your host, Jerry. Are you ready to up your game? Let's dive in. There is one great guy and many remarkable journeys. Get ready to be inspired by Guy Kawasaki, the chief evangelist of Canva and the host of Remarkable People podcast. From his days as Apple's chief evangelist to becoming a trusted voice in entrepreneurship and social media. Join us in this episode as we explore his insights from Think Remarkable, his new book, and beyond. Guy Kawasaki is here to share wisdom that will leave you truly enchanted. Guy, I remember there was a saying that whatever's gold, Guy Kawasaki touches it. Guy Kawasaki touches whatever's gold. I forgot which way it was. But what exactly do you do as the chief evangelist that makes brand like Mercedes-Benz, Apple, Canva shine even better?
Evangelist. Well, first, let me explain Guy's Golden Touch so people understand what we're talking about. So Guy's Golden Touch is not that whatever I touch turns to gold. Guy's Golden Touch is whatever is gold, Guy touches. And that's kind of the insight into what makes a great evangelist. A great evangelist has a great product. That's 80% of the battle. So that's Guy's Golden Touch. Now, evangelism comes from a Greek word meaning bringing the good news. So I bring the good news of Canva today. I brought the good news of Macintosh when I work for Apple. And the good news of Macintosh was that it made people more creative and productive. And the good news of Canva is that it makes people better communicators because it makes them able to design their own graphics.
I just out of curiosity, how did you go from high tech to Mercedes-Benz, like an automotive?
Well, Mercedes-Benz had a program for brand ambassadors. And they had, for example, Garrett McNamara, the big wave surfer. They had Roger Federer. They had the first female Formula One driver. And so they had a bunch of athletes. And then they had me. So my claim to fame was primarily tech. But the basic concept is you get this famous people, famous tennis players, famous surfers. And, when they're using Macintosh, you hope to think, Macintosh. I never stop evangelizing Macintosh. So if you see these famous surfers and famous tennis players and golfers and athletes using a Mercedes-Benz, then it's that halo effect. Like, Roger Federer has a Mercedes-Benz. I want a Mercedes-Benz. And they thought the same thing would be true for me.
How can you sprinkle some of that Guy Kawasaki magic to one's own brand?
Well, it took about 40 years to achieve that. So
it took about 40 years, but it was all worth it, eh?
Yeah, well, when you're a Mercedes-Benz brand ambassador, you kind of get any Mercedes you want. Yeah, literally.
Wow. Which one was your favorite, just out of curiosity? Which car?
Well, I think all things considered, now that I'm older, it's probably an S-Class.
S-Class. Got it. Thank you. Whoever comes on your podcast is definitely like a remarkable person. But how do you measure their remarkableness? Is it based off of the guideline of this new book that you wrote? Or is it some...
Well, it's a very subjective decision. The podcast is called Remarkable People, not famous people, not rich people. It's remarkable people. And I define remarkable as someone who has made the world a better place, made a difference, dented the universe. And so I've had people like Jane Goodall and Steve Wozniak, Stacey Abrams, Uh, I'm about to interview Amber MacArthur from Toronto. And these are people who have made the world a better place.
Remarkable people making a dent in this world. They're a really good example of my generation, the Gen Z generation. And a lot of these people I didn't even know, but you make me feel like I've been living under a rock. But how do you stay up to date?
I have a lot of help. Believe me, I'm 70 years old, so I had to ask a high school English teacher to help me figure out, who should I interview from Gen Z? And she told me Olivia Juliana, this political activist. And then I came across Mark Rober from YouTube. So I've had both of them.
I like Mark Rober. I think he's famous for his Scroll Olympics, eh?
Yes, Squirrel Olympics and exploding shipping boxes.
Exploding shipping boxes. Yeah, that one was a good one too. At the start of the book, you echoed the really amazing message, the Think Different Apple campaign, and I really like that phrase. Beat the round peg in the square hole. I think your new book definitely echoes this message to be different. Uh, but like when you work with Steve Jobs, he's definitely a brilliant person, but he seems like the type of boss that would work every available living tissue out of you. How do you deal with him?
Well, I don't know if, his goal was not to work every living cell and tissue out of you. His goal was to make a difference, to increase people's creativity and productivity. And to do that, he kind of had to work us hard. But it wasn't a power thing for him. There are some people who just like to, express power and exercise power, and that wasn't him.
Oh, so in if you were to describe him in one word, what would you say he best resonate with him?
I would say that he was a mission-driven asshole in that, he wasn't the kind of asshole that was egocentric and it's all about me. He was just mission driven to create a computer that would increase people's creativity and productivity. And he would not let anything stand in the way of that.
Oh, mission driven. I see.
Very much. Yes.
So one of the questions I get a lot is people going to high tech, and you've been experiencing high tech. You worked at Apple, now you're in Canva. So what kind of sectors should people look into? Which is the sector of the largest growth in tech?
I have no idea. I mean, I probably would guess artificial intelligence, but that could be a fad. Who knows how long that will last? So rather than looking for the highest growth or the most jobs, you should temper that by figuring out what you're interested in. And it's a combination of what you're interested in and what you can make a living at. And if you only do one or the other, you're either going to be starving or unhappy. I guess if you're starving, you're also unhappy, but yeah.
I think one of the thing that jumped out at me was the ikigai, the life principle of finding purpose in life. And where did you get that amazing inspiration from?
Well, I got that from a book by is it Hector Garcia, I think. So he wrote a book called Ikigai, which is kind of ironic that someone from Spain living in Japan is explaining a Japanese concept to me, even though I'm Japanese American. But Ikigai is the Japanese concept that this is the thing that you wake up in the morning, this is what you live for. And I think that, if you're very fortunate if you find your Ikigai, and over the course of a lifetime, you may find more than one Ikigais.
More than one ikigai. So it doesn't have to be fixed. You can always pursue different passions in your life, find different
Oh, yeah.
meaning.
I would say, podcasting is my Ikigai right now, but I've had I've fallen in love with writing. Obviously, I've fallen in love with marketing. So I've had several ikigais or passions in my life, and that I think that just shows a growth mindset, basically.
Growth mindset. Got it. Would you say working with the Macintosh team was that one of your ikigai before?
When I was in the Macintosh division, I was employed there. So it wasn't like something that it was a hobby but having said that, yes, it fully occupied my brain. I mean, I was not thinking about anything else. But I don't know, it's slightly different when you're working hard and you really believe in your work, in the sense of you're working for a large company. Most of the time, I think when people think of ikigai, it's more of a passion that is not necessarily your compensation is the key.
So that was part of your ikigai. One of the message that you echoed in your book was if you want to be in a place of growth, you have to find an organization that supports you when you're asking questions. So how to prevent your entry level position from being redundant while still being at the edge of innovation.
It's all about, being careful about where you go to work, because, there's two components to the growth mindset. One component is what's in your head. So do you believe you can learn new skills? Do you believe, you're malleable and you can change? But even if you have the growth mindset in your brain, if you work for a company that believes you're either smart or dumb, and if you're dumb, you cannot be smart, and if you're smart, you'll never be dumb. If they don't believe in diversity and training and investing in their employees, if you have a growth mindset in a place like that, you might be very, very frustrated.
Oh, don't be in that fixed mindset organization. Be in an organization that treats you like a human.
Right. And lets you grow. But there are organizations that, they just think they hire geniuses and they don't have to do anything after that.
Oh, I think one of the key concept that Elon Musk looks for in his company is looking for a valuable person that is worth 100 engineers. Do you think that is a good concept, a good company to work for?
Um, I think that makes a great quote. I don't necessarily think that that's, some kind of scientific or statistically valid statement. I mean, how do you say one programmer is worth one great programmer is worth 100 mediocre ones? I would say that about CEOs too, then.
Interesting take. I like that. So in this book, I see a lot of good examples of remarkable people that is making a dent in this world. There are lots of problems. What sort of problems should we be solving for the future? And does AI really solve problems in our lives?
Yeah. The second answer first. There is no doubt in my mind that AI solves problems. AI has helped me become a better writer. There is no question about that. So,
Just
shit, I forgot the first question. What was the first question?
sorry, what should we be solving for the future?
I mean, that's such a general question. I mean, so a general question is going to get a general answer, which is look for pain. Wherever you see people in pain, there's an opportunity.
There is an opportunity. I also read that in your book. Empathy is the feeling that you get when someone is in pain, but compassion is showing that solution to help
Yeah.
them, right?
Yes.
Wonderful. And what is an actionable step people can do today? A small step just to become this remarkable person.
Well, they first have to realize that in order to be remarkable, you don't wake up in the morning and decide you're going to be remarkable. You need to make a difference. So the way it works is you make a difference. And guess what? People have no choice but to think you are remarkable. So it's not a matter of repositioning yourself or hiring a executive coach or a PR team. Steve Jobs never did any of that. And he's one of the most remarkable people ever. And it was because he made a difference. So you make a difference and you will be remarkable.
Oh, I think you also illustrated that principle in the book. You said that he started off as a computer component reseller almost,
Yeah.
but then they just moved forward with a personal computer, right?
Yes. So,
Wow.
I tell you something, a lot of very remarkable people had humble beginnings. Um, and that's, that is another way of stating that all remarkable people have a growth mindset.
All remarkable people have a growth mindset. I had the chance to read um, a lot of a book, a lot of pages, but I haven't finished the book. But if I were to suggest a different title for this book, I would have just said the ultimate life guide for Gen Z and up. Because when you're telling this book, you're almost saying it in a tone that is saying, "Hey, bro, why don't you try this to change your life?"
And you know what? I mean, you're not far off from my goal. My goal is that this book is rather timeless. So, right now, maybe the hot book is Elon Musk by the autobiographer Walter Isaacson, right? Or the biographer Walter Isaacson. Or maybe the hot book right now is Burned by Kara Swisher. But I would make the case that if you're a parent or a teacher or a coach, you're not going to buy the Elon Musk book or the Burn book for your kids, right? You don't want to send them a message. I want you to be like Elon Musk, or I want you to be like this tech bro in Silicon Valley who, doesn't pay attention to society. And these are all the bad things he got away with. You should learn from his example about how to get away with bullshit. So I hope that my book is timeless because it's not like that at all. There's no similarity between my book and those kinds of books. So I hope that parents for a very long time buy this for their kids as a way to, in a sense, they're saying to their kids, you're not listening to me. I give up. Now, I bought you this book. Just read this book. The guy was chief evangelist of Canva, and you use Canva every day. He was chief evangelist of Apple. He worked for Wikipedia. He was a Mercedes-Benz brand ambassador. So don't believe me, believe him.
Inspirational message. I think what you're trying to say, especially to our Asian audiences, this book is one of the solutions to escape that Asian parent mentality. You got to become a doctor, you got to become a lawyer. But there's so many better ways to become a remarkable person. Beat that round peg in that square hole, right?
Yep. And listen, I'm an Asian parent, and well, I think that the control of your children is an illusion. You need to get over that illusion. They're going to be what they're going to be. And your job is to help them be as much as they can be in what they want to be, as opposed to live your dream.
Go with the flow, right? Go with the flow.
Well, I mean, go with the flow, but there are some limits.
Go with the flow element. I like that. And do you think college education is a must-have? I look at some of the wonderful points that the benefits.
I don't think that a college education is necessary for many positions. However, I will say, if you have the time and the resources, I think it's a very good idea to get a college education because it broadens your horizons. And yeah, you listen, people can point to examples of people who succeeded without college educations, but I can tell you something. I can point to many more people who succeeded with a college education. So I would not say it's necessary nor sufficient, but if you can, I would strongly suggest getting a college education. And I also think that there are some people that the deck is stacked against them. For example, if you're a black male, I mean, many people, just because of their racial prejudice, are judging you negatively. And a college degree will help fight that negative connotation, negative assumptions.
Oh, that's one of the benefits of college education. But I hear people say that you go to college to learn a hard skill like accounting, maybe a lawyer, maybe a doctor. But are all the if you're pursuing a different path than those hard skills, is a college education still worth it?
I think so. I don't see a path in life where greater exposure to different people and different subjects and different things cannot be beneficial, right? So, like, I'm struggling to think who would be better off not going to college. I can't think of an example, actually.
Oh, so college education is something that is relevant to becoming a remarkable person.
Well, like, I mean, again, it's not necessary, nor is it sufficient. But I strongly urge you, if you have the opportunity to get a college education, you should get a college education. It will give you a better foundation.
Got it. Thank you so much. I think that's a good key takeaway as well. In the end, all that matters is finding your own pathway, whether college education is something that you believe in or whether something it is not. But
Right.
pave a path for yourself, right?
Yes. Yes. So there is no right or wrong answer. There's only what works for you.
What worked for you? Got it. Thank you so much, Mr. Guy Kawasaki. It is an honor to interview you today. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you for having me. And I'm going to go to something in Vancouver in April called Innovation West. So maybe we'll bump into each other in Vancouver.
Got it. Thank you so much.
All right. So the book's name is Think Remarkable, and it's available everywhere. And if you want something that'll help you make a difference and change the world and be remarkable, this is the book for you.
This is the book for you. Highly recommended too. Check it out.
All right. Thank you, sir.